Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We'll give everybody a couple more minutes to join before we get started here. CR, I'm kind of hoping there's a cat appearance during this.
We'll see.
So before we get started, just curious if we'll be seeing any of you all at WorkX Boston in a couple weeks. I'm going to throw a poll out there. Just curious to see if anybody's planning to be there. Okay, definitely seen a few people heading there. All right, well, I think we can get going here. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're really excited to walk you through what's new in Robin and how these updates are going to make running your office a lot easier. I'm Austin Blass, and I'm the Director of Corporate Marketing here at Robin. A couple quick things to share just before we get going. So we are recording this webinar. We'll send it out to everybody that registered early next week. And if you have any questions, please do drop them in the Q&A section. We'll have some time at the end to answer questions. If we don't respond to your question during the webinar, we'll make sure a member of the team follows up with you personally. So now I'll just quickly introduce who you'll be hearing from today. First up, we've got Ciara Peter, who is our Senior Vice President of Product. And also joining her today is Becca Harrison, who is Robin's Director of Customer Success. So just a quick look at the agenda that we'll be covering today. So Ciara is going to start things off, and she'll walk you through platform updates from the past few months. And after that, she's going to talk about Robin's roadmap and vision for the rest of the year. There's some really exciting stuff coming. I'm excited for her to show. And then we'll round things out. Becca has a really great customer story to share. And like I said, we'll have some time for Q&A at the end. So Ciara, you want to take us through some Robin updates?
Absolutely. So our goal at Robin is to be the intelligent platform for managing your workplace, meaning that we help you manage your entire workplace, not just things that people book or some of those tactical experiences, but we want to make sure that we can help you plan your office. So that can be anything from long-term plans if you are expanding or contracting your space, you have a move, you want to redesign your space. We help you plan all of that, but we also take pride in being able to help you with short-term planning. So if you see in a hybrid world, things can often be unbalanced. We provide you the tools to make those experiences much better in real time. We also help you manage your office. So for those of you who joined us a few years back, we primarily helped with desk and space booking and making sure that you had the data to make decisions based on what was happening in your office. But it's really important to think about the day-to-day experience, and that is our manage pillar. So that includes everything from having a control center for everything that you need to do that day. So that's our workplace dashboard that we launched recently, where you can see all of your calendars. Are they all connected? Are your room displays up to date? What deliveries do you need to manage? Do you have a day that is going to be a spike in occupancy that you need to prepare for. What meeting services or workplace services do you have on your plate? We help with everything from the lobby to your executive meetings. But last but not least is using the office and making that experience seamless for all of your end users. And our goal and our vision here is to eliminate as much work as we possibly can for them. People have enough hurdles coming to the office. They have to commute, find parking, spend $20 on their salad. The last thing they need to do to have on their plate is, booking every space, booking every desk, booking a parking space. And so we help to automate as much as that as possible. So I'll go into some of our recent releases. The first is a scalable visitor experience for front desk admins. So a lot of the time, the ideal state for visitors is that they pre-register or are pre-registered. They come in, quickly fill out a form or register that they're there, have, as close to a touchless experience as possible. But for companies that manage visitors at scale, that's not always a realistic scenario. And front desk admins need the control to manage large groups, get them prepared in advance of their visit. Make sure that if they have 500 visitors coming in that day, they can find a specific visitor really easily. So this group of enhancements helps to make that a much better experience. So being able to edit visits, which is great for logging things like temporary badge numbers and other information like that. But searching, sorting, and filtering columns. So if you haven't been to the visits tab recently, the experience is much easier, and being able to register and check in the guest directly from the web dashboard. So previously the onus was on the visitor to take action, and now the front desk admin can take action on their behalf, and also front desk admin can print badges directly from the dashboard. Speaking of dashboards, I mentioned calendars earlier, and the calendar health dashboard is a full view of all of the calendars in your organization. So every space has a calendar, all of your space booking, your desk experiences, they are connected to your calendar, and it's important that those are up to date. And sometimes things can get disconnected and go offline. And so the calendar health dashboard gives you that direct view so that you can get ahead of any disconnected calendars or any of these IT issues before they hit your users. You can access this from the managed experience or also from your workplace dashboard. We've also launched a number of web app improvements. So everybody should have access today to the new map. This is in our office tab in the web experience. The new map is faster and more performant and has a much better user experience for booking more than one day. We know that can be a really painful experience, and now people can book ranges of days, multiple separate days at once, and see them in line. And then the map will update, or the resources available will update based on the various days that the user has selected. But in addition to that, we've also made some custom resource enhancements. So a custom resource is really anything that people would find useful to book or reserve or have assigned to them. So we started with parking and lockers because those were the most requested, but the actual next most requested resource is a dog bed. I've heard things as interesting as booking vehicles, booking hammers. It really depends on your industry, and that's why the flexibility is up to you. So now you can create those custom resources beyond parking and lockers, and then they can be booked or they can be assigned directly to folks at your workplace. Custom resources is in beta today, but the new map experience is available alongside the previous map experience in your web app. We will eventually be moving organizations all over to the new map experience. And so we will give you a lot of a heads up before that happens. We know that change management can be an interesting process. Hopefully everybody sees the benefit of a faster, more usable experience, so it shouldn't be too much trouble for you. Now, thinking about bringing the experience to users and automating as much of the user experience as possible. We know that a lot of you use Outlook and your users use Outlook. And we are really happy to announce that as of yesterday, for small and medium-sized customers, and next week for our larger customers, you will have access to pretty much everything an end user would ever need without leaving Outlook. So that includes Spaces, which has been available for a long time, the ability to get a desk, but now you can create meeting services if that's something that is on for your organization. You can request those services directly from the event in Outlook. And now we have just launched the visitor experience. And so not only can you add visitors directly from Outlook, but we will automatically detect who is likely to be a visitor and pre-populate that experience for you so you can invite your visitors in one click. We will show you a video right now giving you more information about it.
Excited to walk through what it looks like to create a service request and add visitors in Robin's Outlook add-in. You can see here in Outlook, we've created an interview with John Doe. I'm going to open Robin's Outlook add-in. We'll get your organizational data. I'm going to add a service request. You'll see how I've selected the category. I need a couple drinks for this interview. I'll change the quantity. And then I'm going to add the actual attendees for this interview. In this case, it's John Doe. Once I have John added, I'm going to hop over to the Visits tab and add visits. You'll see that John is automatically selected as a good candidate for being a visitor. I'm going to change the visit type to a job interview, set up the visitor, and I'm done. Once I send the invite, everything else should go through, no problem.
So really easy to do, and now your users never have to go log into a separate web app to do this. Our Outlook app is available on web Outlook and desktop Outlook. Of course, I want to mention some small but important improvements. We listen to all the feedback that we receive from you through our feedback channel, through your customer success manager, through NPS, and some of the improvements that we've made based on this feedback include the ability to create a same-day booking from a room display. So right now the room display, or previously the room display, would show you the events available and also let you book the room ad hoc and check into the room. But sometimes people know that they have a meeting coming up. They might be working at a place that they don't normally work. They don't have the rooms down memorized, and they want to just walk up to the room and reserve the space for later that day. So now they can do that without ever having to go to a separate app. They will also get automatically checked in to back-to-back meetings. So if the owner of a meeting is the same as a previous meeting and they've checked into the first meeting, we will go ahead and auto check them in. It's not a great experience when you have, let's say, 4 or 5 one-on-ones in a row, and you finish your first one, the next one gets started, that person comes in. It's unlikely you're going to remember to recheck into that room. So this makes sure that you don't lose your space just because you've been using it the way you've intended. We also have improved the ability to see who's checked in from the who's in list. So this is on mobile and web. Previously on mobile and web, you could see all of the people who had who had designated that they would be attending the office that day. And now you can see who has actually checked in. And finally, on the thread of dogs at the office, I have this great photo, but the photo is of an activity. So an activity is an event that is an optional event, a cultural event, a social event at your workplace that you create through Robin. And one of the things that was missing was really the vibrancy and personalization of adding a custom photo. So now when you create an activity, you can add that photo. We'll save your custom photos in case you want to reuse that for future activities, and that will appear everywhere that the activity does. Okay, so keeping up the momentum on innovation, I'm going to talk about our vision and roadmap for the rest of 2025. Please remember that all roadmap items and timelines are subject to change. Going back to our pillars, planning the office is really about intelligently automating workplace planning. So you may be very familiar with our easy map uploads, the WYSIWYG editor, and the ability to create and collaborate on drafts. But our plan is to make this more intelligent and more actionable. So think around the themes of intelligently assigning users or groups to neighborhoods and resources. The first theme I want to talk about in plan is location-based check-in. So you can also think of this as, or it also is referred to as geofencing. This is the ability to define a radius around your office so that employees can be auto-checked in when they're nearby. This is one of many methods for ensuring that people get checked in easily and effortlessly. So the reason that you would want this is because it gives you much more accurate data when it comes to planning your office long-term, as well as an accurate picture of who is there on site in case you need to message or interact with everybody who is there at a given time. So geofencing is one of many methods that you can implement individually or on top of each other for a more accurate picture. Geofencing, Wi-Fi check-in is available today. Badge access integrations, we integrate with many badge providers and also have an API in case in case your badge access provider is not on the list, as well as manual check-ins. So just adding another layer of accuracy for you. And next I want to talk about neighborhoods. So neighborhoods, the purpose of these is easier management of resources for groups. So there are a lot of benefits here. One, just being able to easily see what neighborhood you might be a part of. So let's say you're an employee that doesn't come in very frequently. You may look for your department. You could label a neighborhood by that department and have that person head over there to be seated. But on a more structured scale, organizations may have specific designated areas for different departments. They want to make sure it's easy to update based on people who join and leave the organization. We want to make sure that different people can manage different neighborhoods, because if you're managing a 20-floor office as one admin, it's just too much and you don't have the context. So neighborhoods will support your ability to accomplish all of these goals. Moving on to managing the office. The goal is to help you continue to be in control of your workplace operations and avoid friction for some of the surprises that might come up in your day. And one of the innovations that I'm really looking forward to sharing with you is our scheduling agent. Let's go ahead and take a look at the video and just dive right into what it is.
You can think of an AI agent as a digital helper that learns and helps you with complex tasks. Our scheduling agent helps people to manage their space in real time. If you're somebody that manages important meetings at all, you often have to find space in a hurry. Things change, spaces go offline. You have an executive with an impromptu meeting. When space is full, you end up playing Tetris with other people's meetings. Calendars can get really, really complicated. In the short term, things are too busy, people can't find a space, and you might have a meeting or two that goes wrong. But long-term, companies make real decisions based on this, and they end up getting extra real estate that they don't need. This can be a multi-million-dollar decision. Our scheduling agent can create a meeting just by describing it. You can schedule over existing meetings and solve the conflicts in one click. We do all of the work of finding the space for you, finding the space for the conflicted meetings. You can then just press one button and then we will notify the people who are affected. And this is a 30-second process. This is not about AI. This is not about buzz. This is about making it so easy to manage your office that you can get to the more important things that you need to do.
So many of you probably recognize that background, which is our meeting rooms view. It's available today, but anytime you see a chart like that, you probably want to drag and drop the items within the chart, and now you'll be able to drag and drop them and have those conflicts automatically solved for you. We'll eliminate, sometimes when you're in there creating an event, it takes several seconds for that event to create. You might have to refresh the page, and this experience will just be completely different, and hope to help you solve these really time-consuming tasks very easily. Something that, if you're an admin, should also be very helpful is we want to give you greater control over user settings. Users shouldn't really be spending too much time thinking about the settings of their workplace app. So we want to give you the power to do that. And a couple of areas that will be increasing your ability to control are notifications. So being able to set which notifications your users receive. Another is profile settings, so that they stay in sync with Skim, and users cannot sort of customize beyond the information that is already in there. And ability to see different integrations available. So if your organization is using Microsoft, Outlook and Teams, you may not want them to see the Slack integration or see a Google integration of any kind available to them. So now this will be in your hands, and this is all completely optional. So if you want users to have full control, they still will. We are also improving our room request and meeting management capabilities. So with room requests, we will allow you to create mandatory forms for room requests. So right now, you can have a request-only space. Somebody can request it, and then you can approve or deny that request. But sometimes you really want to make sure that you have the context to make the right decision before you accept a request, accept or reject the request. So you can decide that a form is mandatory and what's in the form so that they fill it out before they request the room. And that can happen in the web app and also in Outlook. For those that manage large meetings, things that need catering, AV, IT setup, you have help from others, maybe even external vendors, we will be delivering the ability to add setup and tear down buffers. So this would be an added time at the beginning and or end of a meeting for this kind of setup and teardown. And this will be by meeting service type. So some meeting services will just need more time than others. And so you can determine that at the service level. And with that, if the meeting gets moved, the buffers will move with it and the room will be treated as busy so nobody else can book over it. And when it comes to using the office, eliminating manual work for end users and making everything much easier. So the preferred work hours setting is something that I think both users and admins will appreciate. Right now, you as an admin set the beginning and end time or the open and close time of your office for that day. And reservations default to the open and close time of your office. But if your open time is 7 a.m. and somebody doesn't come in until 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. or 9:05 a.m. and you have a cancellation policy that says they need to check in within an hour of their reservation, that results in a lot of people losing their reservations, getting really frustrated, and you having an inaccurate picture of who is planning to come to the office or who has arrived at the office. So what we will do is allow users to set their preferred working hours, but without them having to put in that effort, we will automatically set that for them based on their past behavior. So if they don't take any action, we're just going to correct their start time to the time that they usually arrive for their reservation. This will impact not just, and of course they can change it ad hoc if they want to for any given day, but this will affect ad hoc reservations or one-off reservations as well as automated desk booking reservations. And we will be providing a new and improved navigation experience. Robin has gotten bigger. And for those of you who are taking advantage of the most of what we have to offer, it can be difficult to navigate around. Sometimes you have 1, 2, or even 3 layers of navigation. So we're going to be moving our navigation to the left side of the screen, which provides more space for your canvas, the main work that you need to do, more space for navigation, and restructuring the navigation and allowing you to choose any page as your home experience. This should just make it much easier to find the things that you need in Robin. And that covers the roadmap section, so I'll hand it over to Becca.
Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. We are really excited to share this customer story with you today. So Stools came to us looking for a desk and room booking solution to improve visibility and efficiency for their hybrid office setup. So I'm sure that resonates with many of you. And in their first year, they started with our core booking platform, so spaces and desks. And once they had that foundation set, they were curious about what else they could do in Robin. And since they have access to the whole platform, we partnered with them to identify where they could consolidate current processes that they were doing on Jotform. So things like visitor management and meeting services onto Robin. And in addition to using meeting services for catering requests and room setup, they're actually experimenting with it for swag orders. So to support event management by tying the swag inventory orders to the space, just as they're doing with catering, to help staff order swag for things like employee onboarding, company onsites, etc. So customers growing with us typically take an incremental approach to the adoption of Robin. And we love to see how Stools continues to leverage Robin to plan, manage, and use the office. Now this next slide, I did share last time, so if you were here, this is a little bit of a repeat, but again, it's one of my favorite slides, and hopefully it's new for some of you. This is just a friendly reminder that Robin has a lot to offer. So if you've been, if you've built your foundation, we're really ready to help you explore what else you can take advantage of. And also, if it's not necessarily the right time to explore a brand new way of using Robin, we definitely want to make sure that you've reached the full depth of adoption with what you're currently solving for. So we will obviously share the recording after this, but if you're quick and you want to grab a screen capture, definitely feel free to have a call with your CSM, and we're happy to talk about these things in more detail. So yes, my message is short and sweet today, but if you're curious to learn more, feel free to reach out to your CSM or to success@robinpowered.com. We'd love to have a conversation about how we can help you continue to use Robin.
All right. So great updates. Thanks for the story, Becca. We've got a number of questions that have come in. So why don't we jump into those and start answering them? Let's bring Ciara back to the stage. So Ciara, which Robin app will allow mobile check-in?
Great question. So I saw this question and also a general question about all check-in types. So I will just go through this in detail. So the Android and iOS mobile phone apps will allow for the mobile check-in. So geofencing is the one of the automatic check-in capabilities that is coming soon. But right now, so that would require you to have the Robin app. It also requires users to opt in to that location visibility. So another great option that you have today is a Wi-Fi check-in. So what you would do is you would input your Wi-Fi addresses that you want users to automatically be checked in with. And then if they join the Wi-Fi on their mobile, on their desktop, on the the Outlook app on your desktop, all of those will also automatically check them in. You can also automatically check in users through your badge access system. We integrate natively with probably 6 or 7. I don't recall all the names offhand, but they're readily available. And then we also have an API if it's not something that we've built already, which is very easy to set up. In addition to that, you also have the ability to just let people check in remotely through the app. They can check in. They can check in through QR codes that are attached to their desk. And the benefit of implementing many of these is that you just get a more accurate picture. So if you implement 3 of those mechanisms, you're not going to get duplicates. It's really attached to the employee and not attached to the check-in. So this is a situation where more is just generally better in terms of getting the right analytics. And these analytics show up in real time. So it does update your actual graphical analytics as well as your who's in lists and your maps to show who's on site.
Great. Okay, next question. Does the new office view include desk reservations in the office for a particular day? I didn't see it in the view that you shared.
Yeah. So we're finishing kind of transferring over all of the capabilities from the old map to the new map. So you'll be able to see all desk reservations. You'll be able to see all of your own reservations for across desks, spaces, and custom resources also within that view. So that's just in development and will be completed before we kind of start transitioning everybody to the new map.
Okay. Is it possible to book an entire neighborhood rather than every single office or workstation within a neighborhood?
In the beginning, it will not be possible to book an entire neighborhood. So it would be more for the purpose of having the clarity of kind of which resources are in the neighborhood and what capacity that neighborhood has to assign people. But that is something that is likely to be a capability that we introduce.
Okay. The scheduling agent is really cool. Do you have plans to build more agents like this?
We do. Actually, we're building much of the Robin platform in an agentic experience. So I wouldn't be doing it justice if I said these are the specific agents we're building. I would sort of describe it as most of the capabilities that you have in Robin should be available through an agent in the next several quarters. So I know I was a little vague with that response, but the vagueness is because it is happening everywhere. And in our next webinar, there should be a lot of exciting news. But there's also an analytics AI assistant. We released it in early beta about 4 months ago. There have been a lot of improvements. So if anyone kind of looked at it in the beginning, I would take a look again because there's more structure added. The result accuracy has been improved. So for anyone that has advanced analytics, you can also try out our analytics AI assistant. But if you have ideas for agents, please do pass them on, and we're looking at everything.
Okay, this one's for the Outlook add-in. Is there anything special we need to do in order to make sure employees are able to use the new features in the Outlook add-in?
There's not, as long as you have visitor management and or meeting services turned on, those will just show up in the Outlook add-in. So as I mentioned, a group of customers has access today. And then if you are on the larger side of the organizations, I don't have the exact sort of cutoff point of what's considered smaller or larger, but you will have access early next week. We want to make sure that everything is, we want to make sure that we've kind of released it at scale, so you have a great experience. But so far so good. So no extra work is required.
Okay. Do Robin's analytics provide user predictability for capacity management?
There is a predictive analytics component that we have, which determines a trend on capacity, and that is available. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank of what the tab is called, but let's have your CSM follow up, and we'll talk through how to do that.
Okay. Next question. Do you have plans to change the hybrid work policy function to be able to be assigned to specific groups or people instead of the whole organization?
We don't have plans for that today.
Okay. Are there beta programs or early access opportunities for any of the features that we talked about today?
Yes. So the agent will have an early access program. So we'll notify all customers when that's available. Any customer will be eligible for it. The custom resources are in beta. That beta is available now, so you can gain access through your CSM. And I mentioned our analytics AI assistant is also in a beta, so do reach out to your CSM for access to that as well.
Okay. I think we can wrap it up there. There are some other questions that we will direct to our customer success team and make sure they follow up with each of you individually. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. We really appreciate you being here. As Becca mentioned, we are here and ready to work with you. So please do reach out to your CSM or to the customer success team at success@robinpowered.com. And if you're joining us today and are not yet a Robin customer, you can email our team at robinteam@robinpowered.com with any questions. Hope you have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend. Thank you.